Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this live stream, we will building a full web application inside PHP and MySQL. It will be a file manager kind of a web application. As you can see on your screen, we have an option of uploading files, and you also have the option to delete, view the files as well, and also with pagination. So this is the interface which looks something like this. We have the option to choose multiple files and upload this. And for this we are using MySQL database. As you can see, our database contains this table which contain these 5 columns. ID will be the primary key, file name, the mem type, file data will be a blob which will store the actual file, and the uploaded at. Currently the database is empty, so if you reload the application, nothing is there. So if I try to choose the file here, if I select all these files, multiple files, so you can see files are selected, and as I click the upload button, you will see instantly the files will be uploaded. And if I try to refresh the table, you will see all the files will be there in the table. So it has assigned the primary key, we have the file name, mem type, all these are JPG images, and also you can see we are storing the actual files in the database inside the blob. So I will show you how to do this, and this is the timestamp. So if you click on this, you will see this is the actual file that is stored inside the database. So if you try to view these files here, we have various buttons out there. We can view the file, we can download, we can delete. All the 4 CRUD operations you can perform: create, read, update, and delete. If I click the view button, you will see the actual file will display. In this case it is the actual image file, and you can see we can download this as well. So this will download this from the database, and this will be the actual image file which you have downloaded. We also have the option to delete. So if you click the delete button, it will say that, are you sure you want to delete this? I will say okay, then that image will be deleted. You can see it will also delete it from the database as well. So now only 3 entries will be there. So now you can see it has been deleted from the database as well. So this is actually the application, guys, and also pagination as well. If you see, we are showing 3 files per page. So now we have 3 pages right here. So we are on the first page. If I navigate to the second page, the URL will change. So if I go to the third page, you will see that. So next 3 images will show up. So it's a fully fledged file manager kind of a web application where you can upload, delete, view, and download the files with pagination. So it's a full project. If you're interested to purchase the full source code of this project, the link is given in the description. I will show you step by step how I coded this. This will be the directory structure. You will see we have using MySQL database and PHP 8, which is the latest version, and this is all the directory structure you will get after you purchase the source code. The link is given in the description. So now let's get started. I will delete everything and start building this application from scratch. So let me delete everything, and for this you need to have a way to run PHP code. The most basic thing you need to have is exam control panel. If you are on Windows, it's a cross-platform software. So it basically comes with Apache web server or MySQL database. I've already started both these things, and just go to the admin section, PHP myadmin, and right here you need to create a new database. I've already created one database right here, if you see, which is my website, which is freemediatools.com, or you can create a new one. Let's suppose file project. So create a database, and right here you need to I will define this file here, which will be your DB SQL file. So it will contain all the databases, all the tables. So inside this database, you will actually write the SQL code, create table, if not exist. We'll call this table name as files, and inside parentheses, you will specify the column names. First one will be the actual column name for storing the primary key, so this will not be null and it will be auto increment. So this means that this will be unique and auto increment primary key of the table. And then we have the actual file name. This will be of type varchar and the limit will be 255 characters and it will be not null. The next column will be for storing the mem type, which will be the extension. This will also be of varchar 255 and also it will be not null. Next one will be the actual content that you want to store. This will be in long blob syntax and it will be not null. And lastly, we also have the column to store the date in which that file was uploaded. So for that we'll be using timestamp and it will be not null. And the default one will be the current timestamp, which will be the current date and time. And then we will simply set the ID to be the primary key of the table. So in this way we can set this. And lastly, you just need to provide the engine. So these are some constants, so I'll paste it. So now what you need to do, you just need to paste this code inside your PHP MyAdmin. Go to the SQL section and this will create automatically the table based upon the schema that you pasted. So now we have the go button. So just click this go button and then it will create your database. So go to the structure right here. Now this table, you will see the files table has been successfully created. And if you see the structure, we have 5 columns. ID is the primary key, file name, mem type, content, uploaded at. Now we start building the actual application. So just define your basic file here, index.php, which will be the home page of the application. So right here we are using some bootstrap as well for styling purposes. So we will simply have first of all our HTML file. So here you just need to include the CDN of bootstrap. Simply include this, and right inside we will just give it some bootstrap class, container class, and inside this we will have an h2 heading and a simple form which will be responsible for this application. You have a simple form here and h2 heading. So if you go to the application now, just say localhost file upload, you will see this form here. It is styled using bootstrap classes, and the nice thing is that inside this we are making a simple post request to this upload.php. So now we just need to define this PHP script which will handle the actual uploading of the files. We are making a post request right here, if you see that. And then inside this form we have this input type. We are having this name parameter files, and here we are putting this attribute multiple, so for allowing multiple file upload. Then we have the button to upload the file. As soon as we click this, now we define this script here which will be responsible for uploading. So upload.php. So right here we will actually write the code for uploading the file. So right here we put the PHP tag. So inside this, the very first thing we need to do, we need to define this db file, db.php, which will hold the connection code so that we can connect to this database. For connecting to the database, it's quite easy. You just need to write this basic PHP code. So here you will define your host name. So here we are developing on localhost, and then you just need to provide your username, which in this case is root, and then we need to provide the password. By default it is null, and then the database name. So in my case it was freemediatools 1997. This is the database name. After you provide this, now we make the connection. So now for making the connection we say MySQL, and we passed both all these things, host name, then we have the user, then we have the password, then we have the database name. So after passing all these things, our connection will be made, and if any sort of error take place, we can have this display. We will display this message that connection failed. So now we just need to include this file inside our upload.php. So right here, whenever we are doing anything, we need to first of all include this, because first of all we need to make the connection to the database. So now for including it, we simply say require and then the script name, which is db.php. After that we put a semicolon, and then we simply, in the if condition, if is set. So here you'll be checking that if the files are there. If the files are there, then we will simply get the files using the files array in PHP. So this needs to be whatever is the name attribute that you have given. So our name attribute is, you can see we have given this name attribute, which is files. So that's the same and name attribute that we are using. So just make sure that you put semicolon in PHP, because if you don't put this, you will get an error. So just put this semicolon, and after that you just need to get the total number of files. So because we are uploading multiple files, so this will actually contain the total length of files which are there. And then we just need to run a simple for loop for looping through each file. So we will declare a variable I, which will start from 0, and it will run until the total number of files and I plus plus. This is a simple loop, and here we are simply checking that if no error is there. So we have this property inside PHP. If this triple equal to upload error OK. If all things are OK, if this is the case, then we will upload the actual file name. So we'll give it a file name right here. Like this, and then we also give the mem type, which we also get using the type property right here. And then we get this data that needs to be stored inside the blob file get contents, because if you see, we define this blob that you see, this is, we are storing the actual image right in the database itself. So we are storing this blob. So files, and it has a property here which is temp underscore name. You can even store it in a folder, but we are storing directly in the database. So this is another technique that you can do. And then we are simply executing this query by using prepared statements inside PHP. So we simply call this function, which is prepare, and then we run the simple SQL query, insert into, and then the table name, and we here define all the columns. So the file name, then we have the mem type, the file data, and then you put the actual values, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is actually the prepared statements. After you do this, you simply declare this variable, and then you call bind parameters, bind param, and here you pass all these 4 parameters, and then execute this. So let me just write this. This is the script here. We are executing this query. After we do this, we just need to redirect the user back to the index.php file. So for this, we use the header function index.php and exit from the script. That's all. So if you try to refresh the application, and if you select here these three files, click on upload. So now you will see it is setting path cannot be empty, upload.php on line number 3. So I think there is some kind of error in, let me say, db.php. I think there is some kind of typo mistake. Let me paste this. So you will get all the source code once you purchase it. The link is given in the description. So let me just run this now. Again, select multiple files. Click on upload. You will see unknown column file underscore data or line number 14. Let me put this on the same line. I think there is some kind of mistake in formatting. Uh, Sorry, I think I called this as content. That is why this file data doesn't exist. If you check the database, the file data doesn't exist. We called it as content. So just we need to replace, instead of file data, we need to say content. And I think this will fix the problem. If I refresh it, so now you will see there is no problem. If I try to refresh it, all these four files is successfully uploaded. You will see it has given the primary key 1234. We have the file name, we have the mem type. So all these blobs are stored right here in the content, and these are the timestamps. So now we just need to display this whenever we reload the page inside a tabular structure. So now we need to go to index.php, and we need to display this in a tabular structure. So for displaying it, it's very easy. So we need to display it in a paginated manner because we only need to see 3 records per page. So for this we need to write some PHP code right here. So just open the PHP tags, and we just need to first of all require the DB script. We require it, and then we set the limit how many records you want to show. So I want to show 3 records, and here we simply set the current page, which will be, if the current page exists, then we need to get the maximum. This is the pagination logic, guys. We get the current page. After getting the current page, we calculate the offset by this formula, which is the current page. Whatever is the current page, we need to subtract 1 from it and then multiply the how many records you want to display. So this is present in the variable of limit. So then you can calculate it. This is the formula. After we get this, now we just need to get the total number of records that needs to be displayed. So for this, we'll read the data from the database by using this function query, and here we'll be executing this select query and count, and we'll count all the records which are present. So count star as count from the table name, which is files, and then we get all these data in a associative array. So we basically call this function fetch associative, and then we get the count value. So this will get the total number of records which are there. So from this we will calculate the variable which is total pages. So we simply get this by dividing it by the limit, So if the total records are 15, then we divide this by 3, so it comes out to be 5. So in this way we get the total number of pages, and then we get the actual data that needs to be displayed. So for this, once again we use the connection object. Again we use a prepared statement, and we will again get the ID, file name, mem type from the table name, which is files, and we need to order it by descending order so that the latest files comes first, uploaded at descending. And we just need to say limit question mark. So now we just need to execute this query. So for executing it, we simply use the bind param. Then we simply execute this. Then we get the result right here by calling this get result function. So now we get this records in this variable of result. Now we just need to display this. So for displaying it, so you just need to add this CSS code for the modal window for showing the images in the modal. So just add this style sheet code. This is not important to the application, so just add this. So right after the form, we will display this in a tabular structure. So we define this. Let me just paste it. This is all the HTML. So here we are simply adding some PHP code as well. If you see, we are looping through in a while loop, showing all the records. Simply calling result fetch associated, and then we are putting all these properties, the ID, file name. Then we also binding some buttons. So once you click these buttons, we will execute view image. Then we have the download PHP script as well. We are passing the primary key of the record that we want to download. Similarly for delete as well. So we need to define all these scripts, which is download, delete, and this one for the view image. So then after that, this table, we will have this pagination. If you just try to refresh the table application, now you will see the records will display. This is all the records which are displaying. The buttons will not work because these scripts haven't been defined. So after this table, we'll add the modal code here. If you see, this is the modal window. Whenever you click the view button, the images will show in a modal window. So for this, we need to add some JavaScript as well. When you click the modal will show. These are all. Currently, if you click the view button, this modal will be empty because we need to define the script which will be responsible for showing the image. So we just need to define a script view.php. So inside this PHP script, we will write the PHP code which will be responsible for fetching the image and displaying it in the modal window. So we first of all require the DB script, and we get the ID of the image that needs to be displayed. So we get the ID like this. You can see we convert this into integer by typecasting it and storing it in this ID variable, and then we simply return the image. This will be the PHP script. We will search the table based upon this primary key that is there inside ID. We will say select file name, mem type, file data from where ID is equal to, and then that ID, it will return the record and we will display this. So if you refresh now, if you click view, and similarly we also need to define the scripts for deleting delete.php and download.php. So these scripts will be responsible for downloading the file and deleting it. And let me just paste it. This is the code for downloading. It's very simple code. Again, we first of all require the db.php, the connection code. After that, we get the primary key again by $get id. We store it inside this, and then we get the record by again writing this prepared statement. We execute and get the record, and then we actually send this the headers and echo data. So if you click the download button, you will see the unknown column file data. That's the problem, because it is not file data, it is content. So here also in the view.php also I made this mistake. This needs to be content. That was a mistake, I think. Now the image will also show. If you click download, you can see the image is successfully downloading. And similarly, we have the delete PHP as well. This will be very similar. Through the primary key, we will get the record that we want to delete. Again by $get id, we get the id, we get prepare delete from files where id is this, and we execute the query and redirect the user back to the home page. So if you refresh now, click on delete. So now you will see that record is deleted. Only 2 records are there, and if I see the database as well, so those 2 records are successfully deleted. So we download button is working, delete, yes, upload is also working. If you upload the files, so this is the first page, this is the second page. You can see the pagination is also working. So the full source code, guys, is given in the description of the video. This view button, I think I made some kind of mistake in the index.php. So what I will do, for the not wasting your time, I will simply paste all the code here. There will be some typo mistakes, so I just need to search for this column name, which is file underscore data. So you will get this source code, guys, in the zip file. The link is given in the description. It's a full file manager app that we developed. And thank you very much for watching this video.